When Karen's plasma TV exploded live on her makeup stream, and she shrieked about malevolent spirits in the wiring, I swear I nearly spilled my coffee. She had no clue, not even a glimmer, that every spark, every blown fuse, every mysterious electrical mishap at her house started because she was stealing solar power from my backyard shed. Yeah, my custom-built, off-grid setup, the pride of my sabbatical year. Let's just say, when she got greedy, I got scientific. Not out of spite, you know, but out of a kind of poetic justice. Because if you tap into my solar system to power your wine fridge, 5 air fryers, and whatever else you can't live without, well, you better be ready for physics to kick back. Hard.it all kicked off a couple of months ago when I came back from a weekend off-grid myself. Just me, my tent, and zero cell service, the way I like it. Sunday night, I roll up and notice the LED on my shed flashing red, the bad kind of red. I thought maybe a short, some firmware update acting up, but when I checked my monitoring app, my stomach bottomed out. 18 hours straight, my system got hammered, battery drained almost to nothing, way more than my shed or cabin could ever use. Someone had tapped in, physically, and not just anybody. I'd built that system myself, battery buffered, high efficiency, with digital telemetry and a remote kill switch. The Tesla of backyard solar, basically. So I started tracing wires, crawling under floorboards, digging at patches of fresh dirt along the fence. Then I found it, a cheap PVC conduit snaking under the grass, right to Karen's backyard. Not even to the main junction, just a garden gnome. I kid you not. She'd hollowed out the gnome and stuck a junction box inside, taped together with off-market copper and some kind of dollar store splitter. And, get this, my own brand signature red tape. She'd stolen my solar. Brazen. I knocked on her door, and there she was, bandana, mimosa, little lapdog, the whole suburban influencer starter pack. "Can I help you?" she said, all innocent. "Yeah, Karen," I told her. "You're running 30 kilowatt hours of my power through a fake garden gnome. Want to explain that?" She didn't flinch, said her nephew, the electrician, claimed I was overproducing and that it's for the good of the community. She even claimed the HOA signed off, some half-baked variants, rubber-stamped while I was out of town, citing an eco-sharing clause nobody's read since Y2K. At the next HOA meeting, I expected outrage. Instead, they patted me on the back. "Thanks for supporting the neighborhood, Blake," and suggested I donate a second battery for overflow. You know that feeling when you realize you're the only sane person at the table? Yeah, that happened. I stopped arguing. I started planning. Karen thought she was leeching off me, but I went forensic, installed thermal cameras, voltage taps, vibration sensors on the line itself. I could track when she used my power, how much, even what appliance was stealing the most juice. She started slow, charging her Tesla, running the AC. But within weeks, she had every light blazing, pool pump churning, music blasting, her house lit up like Times Square, all on my dime. I brought charts and logs to the HOA. They just thanked me for my green spirit. Even the police shrugged, civil matter. Power company wouldn't touch it since I'm off-grid. Karen knew the system and knew how to hide behind it. But she made one mistake. Her so-called electrician nephew. His certification was a $15 printout from a sketchy website. No license, no insurance, and he'd literally skipped grounding the line. Now I had my opening. A safety hazard I could prove, and a way to hit back, not in court, but with a little help from my friend Reiji, who just happens to build industrial surge protectors for a living. Reiji and I spent the weekend cooking up a perfectly legal, technically safe, but absolutely devastating feedback loop. A dummy inverter that would feed normal voltage until her load spiked, then zap her whole circuit just enough to fry the appliances, but not start a fire. Set the trigger below her peak brunch draw, added a time delay for drama, and sat back. Next week, Karen throws a big influencer brunch, live stream, mimosas, music, 6 ceiling fans, all on community solar. 11:23, she hits the threshold. 10 seconds, 15, then the first chandelier pops, crystals raining down, toaster explodes, hair straightener shoots a blue flame. garage door slams. I sipped my lemonade, watched from my porch, trying not to laugh as she shrieked about Russian cyber attacks, with mascara running and static hair. She came storming over, accused me of hacking her, handed her a brochure titled The Financial Consequences of Unauthorized Power Theft, which she tore up. Cops came that night, but when I showed them my logs and security footage, they shook their heads and left her with warnings. By morning, her yard looked like a tornado hit. Best Buy, fried cords, melted surge protectors, even a scorched waffle iron. But did Karen back off? Nah. By noon, 2 more pros were in her yard, patching up the line. This time, even worse. Her nephew skipped grounding again, rerouted neutral, and basically wired her house to be a fireworks show waiting for a spark. She didn't even realize. And when she hosted another brunch, it all blew up, literally. A guest's laptop caught fire, pool pump shot water sky high. Folding table collapsed from the heat of a crock pot. Half the neighborhood live-streamed it, hashtags flying. Karen finally shut up, just blinked, standing in the ruins of her party. But she still tried to threaten lawsuits. I have a lawyer. And I just pointed to my files, camera logs, and the fact that her own nephew confessed to cops on body cam. Then came the twist. One of her guests filed a police report after getting burned by a hot metal chair, combined with all my evidence, and the county launched a full investigation. Karen talked herself right into a citation for theft, tampering, and endangering the public. But, of course, she doubled down, showed up at the next HOA meeting, demanded my solar system be seized for safety. The board nearly bought it, until the cops calmly clarified on record: illegal wiring, her property, her confession, case closed. Silence. She tried to pin it on her nephew, but the officer said flatly he admitted everything. For 2 days, Karen ranted online about being the victim of a technocrat conspiracy, called me the blackout bandit. I got calls from friends wanting the t-shirt. But the county utility board wasn't laughing. They found a dozen violations, red-tagged her house, shut down half her circuits, and banned her prized wine chiller as a fire hazard. Alexa quit, too. Unstable power. Meanwhile, my shares in the local solar co-op matured, and suddenly I was a stakeholder in the same company managing HOA compliance. At the next meeting, I proposed strict new rules. No more unauthorized energy connections, board member safety audits, public fine postings. Karen's name lit up the board like Times Square. She snapped, moved out overnight, screaming match with her nephew, chucked a broken power strip into the lawn. The gnome? Melted. I spray painted it gold. It stands guard over my battery shed now. A tiny, angry monument to karma. Cleanup took weeks. She'd left a mess of unpaid vendors, canceled contracts, and half-baked beautification projects. Even Mrs. Garcia's porch lights were pulling illegal juice thanks to Karen's handiwork. We fixed everything, then shifted the HOA's whole vibe. Out with passive-aggressive fines, in with solar credits, real community, and transparency. Suddenly, people cared. They volunteered. The place felt lighter, freer. No more leopard print tyranny. But Karen, well, she wasn't quite done. New username, same attitude, ranting online about being exiled by sunlight weaponizers. I framed her wildest quote. They weaponized sunlight against me and hung it in my shed. Then a realtor tipped me off she was house hunting here again. I called an emergency vote and passed the Karen clause. No readmission for residents busted for utility theft, ever. When she tried to move back, she saw the big LED sign. No reentry for utility theft convictions. She froze, caught my eye, and mouthed, "You win." Yeah, Karen, I did. But it wasn't about victory. It was about balance. Now, the neighborhood's brighter, lighter, drama-free. We hold solar-powered movie nights. The golden gnome glows every evening, powered by reclaimed sunlight. And you know, that's the best revenge. Not just watching someone self-destruct, but turning their chaos into something good, something lasting. So what do you think? Was I right to fight back, or did I go too far? Ever had a neighbor cross the line and got justice in the end? Let's hear your stories down below, because, hey, Sometimes karma really does run on solar.